Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining. Before I get started with today's review, or tonight's review of Monday Night Raw from Boston, got a couple of quick announcements. First and foremost, if you have not seen it, be sure to check out my top 10 favorite matches from the city of Boston, which is already up. I will leave that, I believe, in the end cards, in the end screen. Of course, that also being said, speaking of Boston, I would like to say in humor, keep your thoughts and prayers for Mercedes Monet because she is continuing to lose all her championship collectibles in matches on independent scenes. So my thoughts and prayers are with Mercedes Monet as the downward spiral continues. And another Massachusetts woman who needs our thoughts and prayers in real life is Samantha Irvin, because after Ricochet made a very obscene tweet, by the way, that tweet about being glad that somebody has MS, multiple sclerosis, I believe, that was completely obscene. And that was a bit over the line. I mean, MJF, as much as he tries to be an on screen villain, and yes, he picked on somebody with a certain condition and was on a wheelchair, but it was a part of the act and they knew it. I don't think this is part of a out of character, staying in character kayfabe phrase. I think Ricochet just went way too far. And now, excuse me, Samantha Irvin, apparently the wife of Ricochet, by the way, has been receiving death threats. This is crazy. So please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. It's not her fault. She has nothing to do with Ricochet's reckless behavior. But speaking of certain behaviors, let me just say this. WWE, I know CM Punk said that WWE is a smack talking business, to keep it PG. But y'all been going after people's families way too much in the scripts lately. I'm just saying, it seems like it is becoming a predictable pattern. CM Punk is known for this whole thing with Roman and who destroyed him. Roman destroyed CM Punk tonight at the orders of Jey Uso, ironically, and now CM Punk was seen laughing at the end of Raw. Everyone is going after families lately. This whole thing started because of what CM Punk said about Roman's deceased father. Now, tonight, Seth Rollins, as he was getting arrested for falling into Paul Heyman's trap, Paul Heyman went after Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins' daughter, saying Becky Lynch is going to be used by the whole locker room. And then, first of all, Becky Lynch does not look like that type of woman. Now, if you want to be that type of person, that is your business. I do not care what people do in society. I live by the ancient proverb of Booker T. Concern yourself with business that concerns you. And I live that. Concern yourself with you and your self-improvement and minding your own business. Just like Booker T says on NXT. However, Becky Lynch does not look like the type of person that she's going to allow herself to be passed on and through and all that kind of stuff. In fact, she mentioned when Rhea Ripley did her stink face as revenge on Nia Jax that she didn't like being that type of behavior because of the message that it sent. However, I just don't think Becky Lynch is the type of person to be passed around. And of course, Paul Heyman said that, and then he said he would adopt Seth's daughter. Why is everybody going after relatives? That was a laid trap, and Seth apparently fell for it. And everyone's getting punched in the face and laughing about it nowadays. That's another thing. People get hit. Next thing you know, unless you're into that sort of thing, someone should get kicked below the belt and laugh about it. Moving on, we saw Paul Heyman. That was not the first time we saw Paul Heyman because once again, Obafemi one ups Brock, ones up Brock Lesnar, and Brock has a new T-shirt says FAF5. That's the new T-shirt, and that's the new WWE trend. I'm not gonna say what it stands for because it's very profane. Red level profane. I'm not gonna do that. But Oba goes and outdoes Brock Lesnar for the second week in a row. And if I were Oba, I'd watch my back kayfabe wise because I think Brock Lesnar is going to try to get his in Madison Square Garden where he got his butt kicked by Goldberg. And no, while Goldberg was supposed to be the fan favorite, the fans didn't like anybody because they knew both of them were going to play football and do acting. Moving forward, I'm happy for Becky Lynch. Not Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch cut a good promo tonight talking about how she murdered the Divas era, but now the originator, the last top star of that era, will face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. By the way, Becky Lynch is not the only person that helped destroy the Divas era. Mercedes Moné, Charlotte Flair, amongst some others, were in on helping that. And had there been a Rhea Ripley in the Attitude Era or anything like her during that time, we probably may not have had a Divas Era because don't let the gothic show of appeal fool you with Rhea. Rhea does not look like a diva to me. Speaking of Rhea, her best friend Io Sky tried to be a friend to Carrie! And of course, she was disrupted by Raquel. They're going to fight next week. Simp19 Dom does not win the Intercontinental Championship as Finn Balor, as expected, interfered tonight. And I want to say this. I hope we get Finn Balor. I would like to see, although he's babyface now, I would like to see the Demon Finn return to face Simp19 Dom. But I can't necessarily hold my breath because I understand that Finn does not want to overuse something, because if you overuse it, it gets stale and it loses its power and its interest. It's like eating your favorite meal over and over again. It's no longer your favorite meal because you have it too much. Just saying. Moving forward, Oba overcomes Brock. Bayley and Lyra are in title contentions again, which I'm very happy for. I'm happy that Bayley has a road to WrestleMania. I really enjoyed that fight backstage in the gorilla position where Stephanie and Liv fought at it during Simp19 Dom's entrance. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw? By the way, great showing by Javon Evans. Oh, and I don't know if this applies to subscribers, but if you are a subscriber of I Show Speed, be careful because apparently I Show Speed has been cursed. You know something? If I ever go to a WWE event, and that's on my bucket list. I've taken pictures with people like Rikishi and Jake the Snake. Thank God for that. But if I ever manage to go to a live wrestling event, not just a picture signing or anything like that, remind me to stay away from Danhausen. Of course, I do have some. I can ask somebody to give me some holy oil that'll. And look, what I'm gonna do if I just to keep from getting into trouble, I'm gonna bring some holy oil, and then I'm gonna have Isaiah 54:17 somewhere at the top of my shirt to block out any curses that Danhausen might give. So, because you got to be careful with this guy. He likes to curse people when he doesn't get his way. Of course, I wouldn't mess with The Undertaker, but you know what I mean. Moving forward, I hope you guys had a great show. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you think about tonight's episode of WWE Monday Night Raw from Boston. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. See you next time. And my thoughts and prayers, by the way, to the family of Chuck Norris. Some of you remember Chuck Norris as the special guest enforcer for the match against The Undertaker for the match with The Undertaker, Yokozuna, 1994. Of course, we've seen him, I believe, in WCW as well. And he's made a lot of good action movies. He even did some things with the late Bruce Lee. So I know there's a reunion in heaven, but my thoughts and prayers are with him, his family. And until next time, I'm your host, Daniel Cody. I'll see you next time. Have a great night.